Right? Yeah, just in time. The chat saying hello to you.
Hello, chat. I have yet to see you yet, but hello.
Gonna lock that in. Lock that in there. All right, brother.
Yeah, whenever you're ready, man.
All right, so how you doing? It's always got to be one of the first questions.
How am I doing?
Yeah.
I'm doing pretty well, I guess, all things considered.
There you go. There you go. Now, obviously, without doxing yourself, tell us a little bit about yourself. The Mags, who are you?
What makes Mags tick? What makes Mags the magnanimous Mags?
Mm-hmm.
The infamous, the notorious, depending on who you speak to.
Yeah.
Okay, so I can give a little bit about my IRL self, not too terribly much, but I did used to work back in for Twitch, so I'm very knowledgeable as far as like how Twitch used to operate, algorithms, stuff like that. Dealing at least on the surface level with basic PR stuff and marketing and basically what makes a sausage made, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I get it.
That having been said, obviously I no longer work at Twitch, and it was in a very short-lived kind of contractual obligation-ish state, which I'm still under NDAs for, so I can't say too much. But it was a very interesting, eye-opening experience. So that's what I will say there.
That's interesting, especially when everyone's having their theories come out about what Kick is, or not what Kick, what Twitch is doing. I'm assuming you've seen some of those when big streamers are talking about how much they either like or don't like Kick, and you're just sitting back like, I actually know what's going on, or to a degree at least. To
a degree, well, on the Twitch side of things, yes. On the Kick side of things, maybe not so much. But the real one that I would tell everyone to keep an eye on right now would be Rumble. Rumble would be the one to keep an eye out for.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking about getting stuff set up there, but it turns out I need like 5 followers or something like that in order to go live. So I just haven't been able to do that yet.
Well, you're in the right place for it because you are part of a mutual group that we're in, and if ever you want to seriously push that, just let me know. We will make sure we can push that the right way. You can get the 5 followers easily.
Okay, it's funny because I was thinking about it, and the thing is, I hate having to ask people for stuff because I don't want to. I feel like I'm bothered, so I just don't. Like even asking you for the interview, I talked to a mutual friend of ours for like 2 or 3 days about it, and she was like, "Just ask, bro," and I was like, "All right, fine." And I did. You responded, which I thought was kind of crazy. So thank you for that.
Oh yeah, I'm contrary to popular belief. So I've heard a lot of like weird things about myself in regards to. Apparently, I come off as very intimidating and very mean, or very like what we call it in our community, resting Mag's face. I seem upset all the time. Although in reality, it's kind of like, no, you guys can just reach out to me. I've never been a jerk to anybody, to my knowledge. If I have, well then it is what it is.
Yeah. I haven't heard anything bad necessarily. I feel like it's also, since you're the leader of that group and whatnot, and that's a pretty big one in a type of deal. People are like, well, I don't want to bother. He's probably got stuff to do, and that's how I was,
Mm-hmm.
So when now we're here. That's nice. That's nice. So
cool.
As we start, what's well, I don't know what we could talk about. Like, I have ideas, but it's just like there's just so much. But I guess we could talk about what is it? Your model. I'm assuming your model has like a name, or no? Is it just go by Mags as well?
Mags is just Mags. So basically, the lore, I guess, so to speak, if you want to know it, is the character of Mags kind of differentiates between like what body I inhabit, and the reason why that happens is because this character is not the actual model itself. It's the demonic presence, very similar to like a Hellboy sense, that inhabits the body.
Okay.
So the current form that Mags is inhabiting happens to be the Inquisitor that tried to seal Mags away, and that ritual kind of like backfired. So Mags is very much like trapped in this female form, which is kind of the joke of it, because speaking in a meta sense, I'm very much inspired by people like Rev and Porcelain Maid and a number of other people that use female models, but they're very clearly male.
I like that. It's interesting how you said you're being possessed, essentially. You're trapped in this body. It's With my lore, it's almost the opposite. The reason Jigs picks this body will be revealed in the lore. I just thought that was interesting. It's a opposite type of deal. I like that. So now, with how your model is in the lore and whatnot, will the model change anytime soon, or is this the lore? It's going to be this. It's going to stay this way.
I think the lore will always stay the same as far as like this form of mags. I do like it quite well. The community seems to like it as well. It fits with the aesthetic we have going on at Club Tartarus, which I don't mind bringing that up at all. But yeah, like generally whenever my model does change, it will be for a lore reason, for a legitimate reason. Many of you may or may not know I used to have another model, live 2D model. I had to stop using that one. Not because there was any like legal thing directly with it, but the original artist did not want to release commercial rights, and I don't want to start building a brand with that one, because then if I want to do merch or something or get like a gamer subs deal down the line or whatever, you really can't do anything with it.
That's yeah, good lord. I couldn't picture having to deal with the whole legal issue with just a character and whatnot, and not whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You are a better man than me. I can tell you that. So was this,
well, thank you.
Not a problem. This was like your design? You came up with this like off the spot, or did you just see something and kind of reference it from there?
Actually, there's another person in the AI community named Father Lupus that he had created this design initially because his big thing is doing like noir style versions of characters that exist already. So he came up with this original design, and I was like, oh, I love that. I'm like, can I use this for other things? And of course, he's like, yeah, it's your character. Use it for whatever you want. And it kind of adapted from there.
Nice. So from here, streaming at all? Or is that not what you're going to do?
So I do stream on YouTube as well as Twitch. However, I myself, contrary to popular belief, I'm not like a VTuber myself. I do VTube. But what I do primarily is I help other people grow and reach their goals, so to speak. I guess a manager, or the joke we have is because I do actually run a VTuber agency called Nocturne, which is more like horror, like element style VTubers. So I am management on that, but in regards to Tartarus specifically, it's an entirely different like monster. It's something that happened out of necessity for the community, and I just backing it, I guess, financially, so to speak.
Oh, there you go. Thanks for the follows, by the way, guys. Thanks for the follows. Now, you said Nocturne, right?
Mm-hmm. Nocturne, yes.
I feel like I've heard of that before. I'm not exactly sure what I've seen, but it sounds familiar. But also, with VTubing agencies, good lord, they get such a bad rap. But I mean, kind of understandable as to why they do. So, what is going to make yours different than everyone else's? Let's leave it at that.
What's going to make it different is I'm involved. Haha, yeah, that's right. That's a little bit of arrogance there.
God, it seems like you deserve it. I've seen what you've built so far, so...
But in all seriousness, what makes it different is, and this is going to probably rustle a bunch of jimmies, is I actually put talents first, which anybody who knows anything about Bishojo was like, oh, well, didn't they say the same thing? It's like, no, I literally put my talents first. Like, my talents, everyone that works with me, they keep 100% of their ad revenue, 100% of their earnings in regards to monetization and whatever. Where we work on is a very real agency sense in the regards of talent agency, meaning like if you want to come and work with us, yes, you are contractually obligated to certain things like NDAs and so forth, but where we get our cut, so to speak, is by helping you get those sponsorships and brand deals, and then we take our cut on top of that, and you keep the rest. So that's kind of where we make our money, if that makes any sense. I don't want to nickel and dime the people that work for me, so it doesn't make any sense to do that.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I get it. Now, hypothetically, what kind of numbers are you looking for before someone joins that the VTuber group you got there?
Well, I can speak totally transparently. I have had people start from zero, and now they're affiliate. And I have one talent under my belt by the name of Dax Obscura, who's actually almost to partner at this moment on Twitch. So he's been doing really well for himself.
Oh, okay. We like to hear that. Now, with the talent, I'm assuming you do interviews with them, but then you talk to them, you get to know them before. What
Of course.
characteristics I would say are you looking for in a streamer or a potential partner client?
We just call them talents because essentially, to kind of like backtrack a little bit, just to give clarification on that, one of the chief, I guess, goals that we have with Nocturne is we believe that everybody has a talent, which is why we call them talents, and we want you to bring that to light and have that be shown and represented, because not everybody can do the same thing. Some people are really good gamers, some people suck at gaming, some people are really good storytellers, some people can't yap for shit.
True.
So,
I feel that.
So it's all about me finding what works for the talent and helping us expand upon that, but also giving them the freedom if, like, let's say a year or two down the line, they're like, hey, I really want to get voice lessons and learn to sing and whatever. We can make that happen in the future.
Hey, okay. Then how many talents do you have under your belt currently?
I can't give an exact number due to NDA stuff. We have recently let some people go and brought some new people in, but I'll say it's at least 10, a little, maybe. Oh wait, look at my numbers. It's under 10, but a good handful.
Okay, yeah, you're probably not looking for anyone else at this moment. I was just thinking because people in the chat were you're here, and some of them are VTubers, and it's like, well,
oh, cool.
So yeah, so I was just like, well, okay, that's nice. It's nice. It's something to look forward to, Well, I don't know. It depends on what they want to do. But that does seem that does seem really nice. And now, when did that start? That talent agency you have, when did that start?
Once again, this is partly under NDA stuff, but I will speak.
I just stopped honestly asking about that.
Yeah. Okay, so basically, I was privy to a bunch of stuff behind the scenes, especially when certain like sponsorship deals were being put out there. Stuff where we would have meetings with much larger streamers, and they'd be like, "Hey guys, there's this many thousands of dollars on the table. Who wants to do this sponsorship deal?" And people would not want to do those sponsorship deals because of some political agenda or lack thereof political agenda or something. And I was literally like flabbergasted when I saw how much money was left on the table on the Twitch side of things, because people just would not want to do it because, oh, well, that person doesn't like this political alignment or whatever, so I'm not going to do it. And it's like, and there's like thousands and thousands of dollars that was left on the table. And when I had talked to, I'll just say my partner at the time about it, they were like, well, why don't we, why don't you try to get that money to the right people, basically, to the people that actually like need it, that can actually like benefit from it. So that's kind of what the initial conception for Nocturne was.
I gotta lie, that seems mind-blowing to me. You mean to tell me there's money on the table that you're just not gonna take? Couldn't be me.
It was, I don't want to give like specifics, but it was easily above 20K that was just left on the table.
Look, I know you just met me and we just started talking, but if there is money and stuff needs to be done, let a brother know, okay? I do not mind. I will work with anyone and talk to anyone about anything. All right? Oh,
we see that's actually the funny part, because a lot of these people, they just, once again, I don't want to make it a political thing, but because somebody didn't want to get involved with whatever political thing people were involved with or not aligned with, it's kind of like you're literally walking away from money. Like, I know people that are starving that could like kill for like a quarter of this, a fraction of this.
That's crazy, but Mags, don't call me out like that. I know I'm starving, but you don't got to tell chat that, all right? Oh my god, that's awesome. Okay, well, I'm not gonna talk about that too much, obviously, because NDA is. I'm just very interested. I'm just very interested in how this all works and whatnot. And it's not something that I would like. Well, at least being a head of it, but being in an actual agency, I think that would be pretty interesting. I don't want to self-relate here or anything, but like I think
you can do it a little bit. I won't tell anybody. Chat will know.
Chat's cool like that. Chat's on my side. We all get it. Also, there's a lot of people here for you, by the way, and I don't know if you can see chat, but they're all like, you should be president. So.
Well, thanks. Appreciate that, chat.
Yeah, I was about to say you got a nice little community behind you with what seems like a lot of cool people. I've seen. In the group that we are in, I've seen a lot of people, and they seem to speak very highly of you. So that's very good. It's very nice.
Well, thank you. I have a bunch of people under my belt, and I speaking in regards to like the Tartarus Media Network, which is kind of like the big project that probably everyone has seen start popping up a bit. That is kind of my next, I guess, mission statement, my next goal. Because I have found that there's a bunch of people in the AI space that they will, for example, be really good at like generating videos or generating photos, but be very terrible at music arrangement, or vice versa, be really good at music arrangement, but be terrible at video editing. I think I've created a big enough network now where I can help plug people into the right people and say, hey, you guys can make some shit happen and we're going to promote it. And that's basically what Tartarus is.
Hey, well, there you go. If I don't know if I told you, but I'm a video editor myself, and so obviously I'm not saying let me work for you. That would be nice, but what I am saying is if you do know somebody that needs video editing done, I have about 3 years of experience, and I'm not going to get into it all that because this is about you. But just, throwing that out there, chat. Remember that, all right? Write that down, chat. I got to talk to this guy. Yeah, okay. I got to talk to this guy. We have plans. We have business deals that we can make because I'm all about making. Well, I mean, look. I like what we do. I like what you do. You seem to have like a really good, head on your shoulders, which I know sounds ridiculous coming from someone like me. But it's very hard, especially nowadays, to find people online that aren't. I don't know how to put it politely, but you know what I mean, right?
Very simple-minded, very like focused on me.
Very conceited. We'll go with that.
Oh yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
Yeah. Don't want to get banned off of Twitch already. I just started. I like it around here. Now, from here, you don't necessarily VTube, but all of this, the thing that you got going on, Nocturne, the group that we're affiliated with. Let's go a little bit further behind or back. Where did this all start? Because it seems like you have a lot of things cooking all at one time, and it must get very hectic.
It does, but it doesn't at the same time. So originally, like this all started conceptually because there are a lot of other VTuber agencies or groups or whatever you want to call them out there, and for the most part, everyone does their own thing. They don't really have a shared connected lore, shared connected universe. And I thought that was a huge missed opportunity. Obviously, I have a big background, at least on the personal side, in regards to like tabletop gaming and like video game development and stuff like that. Once again, I'm not going to give away too much about myself, but world building and storytelling is something very much I love. I love to flesh out, and that kind of echoes doubly so in regards to this, because when we first sat down to conceive it, it was like they need to have a shared universe, they need to have a shared world. And that world itself, contrary to popular belief, is actually called Nocturne, which is why it's called the Nocturne Vtuber Agency, because they're all part of the same world, which is called Nocturne, it doesn't mean it's perpetually like nighttime, but it does mean like all the fun stuff happens at night, if that makes any sense.
I get it. I get it. Now, real quick, you don't play League of Legends at all, do you?
No, thankfully I kicked that habit a long time ago. But actually, one of my talents, Rosa the Vampire, she was very addicted to League. I had to help her break her addiction to League and introduce her to Marvel Rivals. So.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. Although
I did recently have an addiction to Marvel Rivals as well that I had to kick because it was taking up too much time. I was like, I need to manage people, not be grinding my penny game.
Okay, well, dang, I was about to say it. At some point, because I ask everybody this, at some point we should do some collab or whatever. And I was thinking, we could play League, but I mean, if she got out of a habit, they'll probably not do that. And if you got viewers, we're probably not going to do it because I was just playing it, as you saw. So it's probably not do that.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll find something else. Now, you mentioned you like fleshing out world building and whatnot, or at least this specifically, because obviously it's your baby, and that's fantastic. I'm very interested in lore. What would it cost to run some stuff by you about my lore? Because I want to flush it out as well, and I need to bounce ideas off of other people, and I don't want to just talk to random people. Like, I don't mind doing it, but like I don't want to chew their ear off. But this sounds like something that you do. You know what I mean?
Well, what would it cost? That would be the real question. The real question would probably be nothing, because for just helping people out, especially people in the Tartarus community, that I basically do that for free. I mean, there is a certain point where I'll draw a line in the sand, so to speak, and say like very bluntly, which is like, hey, this is going into business area, and this is where we're going to have to either sign some NDAs or talk about payment or something. But for the most part, I am like, I don't think I've ever told anybody, and anyone who's here from Tartarus can speak up on my on my behalf, which is I don't think I've ever told somebody I'm not going to help them because they didn't have funds. I've always gone out of my way as much as I can to help people.
Okay. Yeah, I was thinking simply because of like how expansive my lore is. I was like, might as well talk business up front, just so we're both on the same page and whatnot. Because obviously, I don't want to waste any of your time. You got to manage all these people. Got a partner, all that good stuff. And then I've seen you guys doing the prompt of the day. Obviously, that takes some cooking up to do. And I don't know stuff about your personal life, and I'm not going to ask about it. But again, I just
But I will
hate
be glad
to
to
be a
go
bother.
into it. Haha, no, I'm joking.
Yeah, you'd be surprised. Some people don't mind.
Yeah. So we do have a lot of cooks in the oven, so to speak, especially with Tartarus, which is, I think, where it works very cleanly because, obviously, my partner Eva, she's the one who does the prompts of the day. That's entirely her project. I help her out sometimes with prompting and, coding, testing things out, whatever, but that's entirely her baby. She does that. And then in regards to the other projects we have going on, like backend, I saw we have Mr. Lyrical Absinthe in the chat. He's one of my main editors that kind of helps out with a bunch of projects, even just dumb shit like memes. If I'm like, hey, I need this meme done, he'll be like, boom, 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 give me 5 minutes. And he goes, I got it done in 2. So, real quick, fun little stuff like that we can get out. So yeah, we definitely, work very well together. But yeah, like, for me, it's more about keeping everybody motivated, but not necessarily motivated, but keeping the morality of everybody like up. That's what's important to me.
Okay, I see that. I think it's cool that you have like a dedicated meme guy. I mean, obviously, he does more than that, but
yeah, he does a lot more than that.
Yeah, it's like you have the guy just for memes. That's actually really cool. And so, how long did it take to build said group? Because I mean, obviously, this doesn't happen overnight.
Well, it started actually out of necessity, like I said. So obviously Nocturne came first, and Nocturne will always exist, although there might be some changes coming up to it very shortly in the future, actually this weekend probably, but I digress there. And basically my talents had expressed interest with kind of like what you had said earlier with collabing with stuff with because we do have a kind of like tiered system for how our talents kind of grow as individuals. And one of the first initial things is you're only supposed to collab with people inside the agency. And the reason for that is to help you establish your brand. So for example, if you were my talent Jigs, you would only be allowed, at least on the first tier, the first couple of weeks, to only collab with people that were already in Nocturne. And the reason for that is the larger talents or more established talents will help you build your brand by saying like, oh yeah, this person just joined the group, go check him out. This person, I'm doing a collab with him, go check him out. And it helps create that shared community. Well, to take things full speed back into Tartarus, it was very much, people had gotten out of that point, but they were only comfortable collabing with each other, which is the complete opposite of what I wanted people to do. I wanted people to start integrating into the community because that's how you grow. That's how you network. That's how you make connections. So that's kind of where Tartarus started from.
Okay. I like that. I mean, I'm game. Well, let me not put the cart before the horse here. Let me not be too presumptuous here. But I mean, confident in what I do. Let's just leave it at that. So you have so much cooking from here, and if I remember it correctly, you mentioned something about the tabletop gaming.
Yeah. We do a little bit of tabletop gaming here on the side. Usually once a month, I'll get whoever's available on the Nocturne crew, and I'll be like, hey, let's run a game of Vampire the Masquerade, or let's run a game of D&D, or let's run a game of whatever new thing they're into. And it's mainly just for, I guess I'll say, like morale building, team building, but it is fun.
Yeah, man, it sounds fun. I was talking to Raza the other day. That super tabletop game heavy and whatnot. I just thought that was really cool because the more I talk to people, the more I realize there's a lot of overlapping things that a lot of people like, and so I just thought that was pretty interesting. Now I'm gonna ask you, I know in no particular order, top 5 tabletop games, or at least that you've done, or collabs or whatever.
Okay, 1 being my most favorite and 5 being like my, not necessarily my least favorite, but like at the farther end side of things, right?
Like if you had to pick 5, the first 5 that come to your head.
No, but I'm saying number 1 being like my most favorite type of thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so number 5 would have to be Eclipse Phase, which is a futuristic sci-fi game about transhumanism, not to be confused with trans rights. Transhumanism has more to do with like you download your consciousness into these clones or into these bodies, and how far does it take your brain until you start getting data corruption, because you are just data at that point. So that'd be number 5, Eclipse Phase. Number 4 would have to be another game called Blades in the Dark, which I really like, which is very inspired by games like Dishonored and kind of like that steampunk era. But it's more focused on storytelling and dealing with supernatural elements and so forth, which is actually a big motivator and inspiration for making Nocturne in the first place. But, I digress on that. Number 3, I would have to put out there as number 3, it would be Dungeons & Dragons. I'm not really a big Dungeons & Dragons guy. I do know it quite well. I can run it quite well. But I find the whole fantasy thing kind of like boring to me because I've done it so much. So I will definitely say that it is a solid game, but it's more about having a good storyteller to make the world come to life. Let me see.
Very true.
That was number 3, right?
Yeah.
Number 2, I would have to say Cyberpunk 2020, not the newest versions, but the 2020 specifically. I don't like Cyberpunk Red, but the reason why Cyberpunk 2020 is because of the fact that it once again deals with a lot of those transhumanism elements in regards to you putting in cybernetics, losing your humanity. I'm pretty sure we've all seen the Edge Runners anime on Netflix. So the whole thing with going cyberpsychosis is very basically a key component of transhumanism. And then, of course, my number 1 game of all time that I enjoy tabletopping, which also cooks my brain 100%, is Mage the Ascension, which is a game where essentially you can rewrite reality any way you want, but there are consequences for doing so. And those consequences can basically be you forgetting, your family, or you basically being trapped in a paradox, like pocket dimension, where you're surrounded at all times by like snakes or fire or something. And it's a really esoteric, mind trippy game, and I love it. And I also do know the creator of it, Phil Briccato, personally, so that's why it's kind of my favorite as well.
Well, there you go. That sounds like a trip. That does sound something really fun to play, but also it seems like there's like a lot of rules to it too, which I get, but
so a good thing with Mage, in case you guys are like want a quick frame of reference, if you guys have ever seen the first Matrix movie where like Neo kind of like sees code and rewrites it and does shit, that's kind of like what a mage does. Or if you guys have ever seen the movie The Covenant from, I think it was back like 2010, maybe a little bit earlier than that, where they can basically cast spells, but then they start aging rapidly. That's a good example of like the type of game it is. Like you can manipulate reality to do things, but there's consequences for it.
All right. Seems like a lot. Now, I asked Raza the other day, have you heard this tabletop game named Catan? Is that any good?
You're talking about Settlers of Catan? Yeah, that's a board game. Yeah, I'm familiar with it.
Okay, yeah, because whenever I hear tabletop, that's like the first one they go to, and they're like, you have to play it.
I am very good at Catan, so much in fact that I got somebody to break a table in half because I rules lawyered them into a position where they're like, that's not the way the cards work. And I was like, the cards say this, this, and this. Tell me where I'm wrong.
Yeah, fair enough. I have that same problem when I play Magic the Gathering. God, I love that game.
I used to love Magic too.
I think everyone liked Magic at one point. Cardboard crack, I suppose.
Yep, cardboard crack. That's a good way of putting it.
Yeah. So everything, music. You have a lot cooking. So, and I always ask everybody. So, what is, I guess, the end goal? Like everything goes exactly the way you want it. Well, what do you want exactly to be the end of it, or the legacy you leave?
Well, legacy is actually something I've been thinking about a lot because, I mean, I think about my mortality a lot. I have some health stuff going on behind the scenes, and not to kind of get too like occupied with that. But, you know, we've all had those health scares in our life. We're like, oh shit, I gotta start eating better, gotta start, you know, working out, gotta, you know, not be couch potato so much, stuff like that. And it definitely has become a motivator for me, where I want the kindness and the good deeds that I leave for the community be my legacy, more than any monetary gain or anything. Not necessarily that I'm naive to the fact that we live in a capitalistic society. We have to work to, you know, make money, and we have to use that money to eat. But by the same token, I think so many people disregard and forget that there's a human behind those things. And it's very easy to be, especially like in regards to the VTuber streaming space, it's very easy to forget that people are just a dime a dozen, and they want to treat them as such. When in reality, it's like they might be a dime a dozen, but that's still a person's soul. That's still a person behind that. And that's kind of what I want to be remembered by, if nothing else, which is I'm the crazy, quote unquote, evil Baphomet person that ironically had a heart of gold, contrary to how I portray myself.
I mean, so far so good. Everyone speaks incredibly highly of you, so it's like, well, you can't say anything negative about the guy. And from what I've heard from other people, the community you have likes to keep everyone, you know, in line, in check, and everyone has a good time because of it. So I like that. I like that more and more. I really wish more places were like that. Good Lord, so much has happened. Just so much has happened between people that I know, and we're not even all that big, and for some reason they can't seem to keep that together. So with this, with how big the place is, or you know, the how do you find, I guess, how do you find keeping everything in order without, you know, having to be that strict, I'm dropping the hammer on everybody?
Well, I've always believed very, very firmly with my managerial style, which is I lead with a very firm but very gentle hand, because not every problem is a nail, and not every problem needs a hammer to be basically pounded into it. So I found a lot of people can generally be course corrected pretty easily by just by telling them, hey, you're crossing a line, let's back it up, please. That having been said, we do have a very strict, like, one strike and you're out policy with everything Charterist. And the reason for that is because we just don't have time for bullshit. I mean, if I'm being completely honest, like, we are adults. We're here to gen things. We're here to create things. If you want to bring in your high school level 2.0 bullshit, there's the fucking door, because we're not going to entertain that. And once I communicate that with everybody, everybody's like, oh, thank God it's like that. There's other communities that I've been a part of or associated with or tried to integrate into, and it's just like, oh my God, this person's dating that person, and they cheated on them with this person, and da da da. It's like, no one gives a shit.
Very true. Shit, I was like that. It's just so nice to find adults doing adult things, and then they could keep everything above board. We don't have to worry about really anything. It's so nice. It's so nice.
I will also say, like, because, you know, we allow gens of every style and caliber, and I'll say, yeah, that's all I'll say in regards to that. But I've always been above board with everybody who's coming into Tartarus, so I've never wanted anybody to feel like, oh, well, you didn't tell me about this. It's like, no, everyone knows. It's always on board.
Yeah, thank God for that. But you mentioned AI, and I was going to talk about that just a little bit with you, because, you know, you are who you are. You're pretty pronounced, or not pronounced, and pretty profane in how you do things, and I like it. And also, you know, people see you and they think very not only highly of you, but then they see what you do and they see who you know, and it's just like, well, this is I gotta impress this guy. So from
I suppose so.
I mean, it's just how you present yourself, and people seem to really like it, and I understand why. Now, with like Gemini, ChatGPT, Grok, and all that, out of those three, which one are you using most?
In all honesty, I'm going to answer that with like a half-baked question or half-baked response, which is all of them. And the reason for that is they all produce different things. I think to limit yourself to only one AI API to use for genning is just kind of ridiculous for no other reason than the fact that if we to look back as far as like just art in general, I'm not going to use a pencil to do a painting. I might use it to sketch out the initial painting, but then I'm going to take it to my canvas and, you know, get my acrylics out and finish the painting. I view AI much the same way. So I might start with something basic like ChatGPT to get the initial concept and positions and so forth of what I think is correct and what I would like to see. And then alter that slightly with Gemini or Grok, depending on what it is that I actually want to do or want to accomplish. But that having been said, I will say those are very like entry level AIs. I've, not to sound arrogant, but we've advanced so much past that right now. But those are definitely great starting points to start with.
Very true. Now, if you could, like, you know, because I know a lot of people in here that also make stuff. I make stuff, and I would like to get to the next level, but I wouldn't know where to start. Like, what API or AI I would use. So, like, do you have any that you would recommend for someone who's going, I guess, from like beginner to intermediate?
What I'd probably tell you to do is speak to more people in the community, because I'm a little bit more privileged because obviously, you know, Eva being my partner, I have a lot of access to things they have access to. So it's kind of an unfair advantage. I will admit that. But I would say if you are interested in doing things like video production, I know Vtuber is really good for like the anime-ish style look. If you want to do things like we recently did Rich Side of Revolution, which was a collaborative effort. That was a lot of sea dance that was trained off of like some Genshin and Honkai Star Rail type of stuff. So it worked so well in regards to that. Yeah, much secrets. I'm sorry, Absinthe. I gotta give him the truth. But no, there are so many things out there, and that's actually one key element of Tartarus, and also specifically in that song that we created, which is that I don't believe that these people should be gatekeeping knowledge, because knowledge conceptually wants to be free. And if you try to gatekeep knowledge and keep knowledge from people, it's just going to come out, and usually in a very extreme and dynamic way. So I believe not necessarily that everything should be available to everybody all at once, but that people should definitely have a curation process where they're kind of guided through like, hey, this might be better for you. This might be, you know, fit what your needs better. Because a lot of people that I found are pretty much in your same state, Jigs, where they're like, okay, I think I've done all I can with this. Where do I go from here? And the easy answer is local generation. That's where you can get a lot of the really interesting stuff. And not just like NSFW stuff, just like in regards to genning stuff that has no restrictions. It's, you know, local generation is the way to go.
That would be nice. I was thinking about local stuff. I have no idea where to start, because that just seems like a headache and a half. And there's a couple other things I got right now. It's like I'm thinking I might put that on the back burner for now, but it is definitely something I would like to look into, because I don't like the fact that when I go to Grok or GPT or whatever, a lot of the horrorcore stuff that I want to do, it just won't let me do it. So doing that local stuff, I think, would be pretty nice.
Yeah, well, once again, I know I had brought it up earlier, like Rose the Vampire, who's one of my talents. She also has that trouble as well, because obviously she's a vampire character, so she does like to do like horror / feeding artwork occasionally, and she runs into trouble all the time with like, oh, you can't show blood, you can't show biting, you can't show like you know, violent nature stuff, because you know, guardrails. So yeah, I definitely can understand that frustration.
It's so annoying, but yeah, you know, whatever. Now, so you have, so you're doing local stuff yourself, correct?
I do some of it local, like I said, all of it's a tool in the paint bucket, so to speak. I use what I need to do what I need to do. That's the best way of looking at it.
Okay. Yeah, because I was thinking, how well does that work? So like, say you did something local and you took it to another thing that wasn't local. Have you run into any issues or hiccups with that, or is that just like smooth sailing?
I don't want to say it's been smooth sailing, because every API is different. They all have to be trained their own ways. But I have had great success doing the opposite. For example, I will gen what I call a keyframe, which people in the community will call it different, but basically it's a starting point, or like, hey, this is a reference of what I want the scene to be, which is why I call it a keyframe. And I'll feed that into something local or like Seedance, and it will kind of cling on to that. And with great people like, once again, like Eva, and also Absinthe has started learning Seedance himself, they can use that as a reference point to kind of build an entire scene around that, which has been fantastic.
Okay. It's funny. As soon as I got where I could, I was going to learn Seedance myself. And like the second you said keyframe, I immediately thought of the PNG animation style of stuff that I was doing. And I was like, oh God, keyframes. I have to do more keyframes. I mean, I'll learn it. I'll learn it if I have to, but good Lord. If I never see another keyframe again, I feel like I've seen too many already.
Yeah, that's an old term from when I used to work in broadcasting. Keyframing is something that's still in my lexicon. I'm trying to purge it out of it because, Eva and other people get mad at me. They're like, it's not a keyframe. I'm like, I know, but I call it a keyframe because it's what I'm going to key back to if I lose focus on what the goal was, what the focus of this particular scene was. I'm going to key back to it. My definition is different, of course.
I'm just glad you said it, and I was like, I 100% understand what you mean, but I to not call that, but I mean, whatever, I suppose. Now, from here, I also ask other people. Now, what type of knowledge can you drop on chat? Like, say they came up to you and were just, and it could be either the most generic thing or it could be the most like specific niche thing that maybe one person's gonna understand.
In regards to what I need, like
literally in regards. But that's the beauty of it. Doesn't matter. Just knowledge, anything that you picked up. And what was it? 2 days ago, I was talking to somebody and they were telling me about what was it? Oh God, I talked to so many people. I'm losing track at this point. Where were they? Oh, they dropped knowledge about how the only reason that here in America that we don't actually use a metric system is because on the way here, pirates ended up hijacking the boat and taking the examples that we were going to use in the government in order to actually start using the metric system. I was like, well, I didn't know that. I don't know why. Yeah, just random stuff like that I just find kind of interesting. And every event has like a different story. So it's like what everyone else thinks is interesting probably isn't going to be what I think is interesting, but I find a lot of stuff interesting. So it'd be hard pressed to find something I don't find mildly interesting. So.
I guess what I'm trying to ask is you're just asking for like a basic piece of like trivia, right? Trivia and lore.
Yeah, pretty much. Whatever tickles your fancy.
Well, I am extremely well-read. I have a number of books that I kind of cycle through on an annual basis that I like to read through. They help keep me grounded, help keep me focused as far as what my goals and ambitions are. And a lot of people would be like, reading a book in this day and age, I would say, you're goddamn right. But so I do enjoy reading a lot, not necessarily fiction. I don't have a stomach for fiction, and not because I don't enjoy it. It's quite the opposite. I get very annoyed when I read fiction because of the fact that this is going to sound very condescending, I apologize, but I find that I write a lot better than a lot of the shit I read out there. And people are like, well, why don't you write your own book? And I was like, well, because I don't have time. I'm managing all these people and doing all these other things, which is more rewarding, if I'm speaking entirely honestly. But so just to kind of give you guys like a little input as far as like the type of knowledge that I regularly ingest is stuff like John Milton's Paradise Lost. That's a very good book of mine. I think I've always come back to it time and time again. It's basically about the fall of Lucifer and the devils from heaven, and about how they decided to rule in hell instead of trying to go back to heaven and perpetuate a cycle again and again and again. It's really interesting. A lot of people consider it heresy, but it was written from the perspective of like, well, what led the original inhabitants of the Garden of Eden to fall and so forth. So that's one. The other one is the Meditations of Marcus Aurelius. I read that a lot to help me stay grounded and kind of like centered. See, another one is, of course, The Art of War, Sun Tzu's The Art of War. I read that not necessarily because I consider myself an aggressive or violent person, but if I do need to get in a position where I need to defend myself, or at the very least defend my agency or Tartarus by proxy, I need to think in the correct manner, because once again, not every problem is a nail. Some things can be corrected just by, talking things out or finding the right person who's willing to listen.
Fair enough. It's funny. Well, I think you were the third person that's brought up the R4. Another thing that I need to look into. I am what the children, the Zoomers nowadays call a retard. So that's something that I need to, a little bit. It's something that I need to work on. I need to read more. The thing is, I'm very specific in the stuff that I want to read, and it's never anything that's like, oh, well, this is very philosophical. It's usually just like, oh, well, you need to figure out how to use this on this program, and so it's like it's incredibly niche, and it isn't like it's going to sharpen my brain anymore, but it is something that I should probably work on. And before I let you go, I forgot that I needed to bring this up. So you're in the AI community and all this good stuff. And obviously, a lot of people here are in the AI community. And since you're significantly bigger than, a lot of people, again, no offense here. It's just, he's significantly bigger than me, all right? So calm down.
Well, thank you.
How, not a problem. How do you deal with the people that are antis, and they'll show up in your comments, or they'll go to your actual DMs and say all this nasty stuff? What do you do with that?
Well, there's a mute button and a block button for a reason, but in all honesty, it's about keeping your head about yourself and realizing that these people are just looking for something to attack, something to blame for their own incompetence, and realizing that they are entirely just stupid. I mean, if we look back throughout the ages, right, we didn't stay just doing cave drawings, cave carvings as cavemen. No, as soon as we found a way to paint, guess what happened? We stopped doing those. We moved forward. Once the technology advanced, I mean, I will speak a little bit candidly in regards to one of my first girlfriends from high school. She was a very big artist, but more specifically, her secret shame was using a drawing tablet in Photoshop, which was a big taboo thing back in the day because you weren't a real artist unless you used like pencil and pen or whatever.
Oh, no.
So I've actually been around long enough to see the transition of things where now tablets are normal. I've seen like plenty of documentaries and so forth where they use like tablets all the time. And now it's kind of like the taboo thing is using AI, which is actually really funny because I won't say who, but I do have connections with somebody in overseas in one of the much, much larger corpos in the JP side, and they told me they use AI all the time. So, this is the route to go down.
All right. And now you've seen the community, the AI community on X or Twitter, whatever you want to. I'll say Twitter, and people are like, oh, it's called X, whatever, dude. You know exactly what I mean. From what I've seen, it seems to be a very opening, very welcoming space. Everyone wants to help each other out. Everyone is dropping their prompts so everybody can try their prompts with their own OCs and all that good stuff. And other people are also using other people's OC and their own prompts. And I find that really awesome. It's a very nice community and whatnot. And that's just what I've seen. I'm assuming you've seen similar, correct?
Yeah, for the most part. I will comment on that briefly because I think, obviously, speaking, I'm not trying to speak as an authority in the field or anything, but what makes AI more approachable is the fact that, there is prompting that can be shared. We learn from each other and so forth. Obviously, it's trained on whatever it's trained on, depending on what style and stuff you want to do. But what I have noticed is a distinct, I want to say over-entitlement of prompts. And it's very upsetting to me. And not necessarily that I have anything against that. I get it totally, like, hey, you made something, you want to take ownership for it. I get that. However, when it comes to the AI stuff, if I make a prompt, right, and I give it to you, Jigs, and you're going to be like, oh, cool. Hey, I changed this thing because I wanted to get this effect. And I say, cool. And then what do? You share that prompt with somebody else, and they do changes, and they do changes, and they do changes. It keeps going down the line till eventually, let's say the fifth or sixth person doesn't even know the originator. And I wouldn't have any right to be butthurt, but being like, I'll look at Absinthe. I saw him in the chat. Absinthe didn't credit me for making that prompt. And it's like, well, how did he know? It's gone through 6 or 7 different people already. It doesn't make sense to get that upset, that butthurt about it.
Yeah, very true. I think I've only encountered that once. And I hope I don't again, because it is kind of annoying. But I get it. And if the person had come to, I'm not going to name any names, but if the person had come to me and just been like, hey, don't, if you couldn't just don't. I mean, yeah, fine. But the fact they did what they did and how they did what they did is kind of, well,
Ridiculous.
yeah. And I'm definitely not one of those people that are like, oh, well, this person did this, so now I have to put them on blast, because that's ridiculous. That's just is ridiculous as well. So we're not. Good Lord, we're not doing that. It's just it's there's so much good stuff, and then every once in a while there's just such bad stuff that goes on, and it's like the bad stuff sticks with you more, at least for me, because it's like, you didn't need to do that. There's a certain level, and I've said this before, and I want to see if you agree, there's a certain level of common sense and intelligence that I expect everyone to have, and when they don't have it, I get mad. How do you feel about that?
Understandable. I think so too. I mean, I have a very low threshold for people that are not necessarily stupid, but that are willfully stupid. If they choose willful ignorance over the ability to educate themselves, I have no respect for those people. That having been said, I'm also very understanding. For example, if you come into the AI arena or any arena, and it is your first time learning, I'm obviously going to be very respectful of you and realize that everybody was somebody's first time learning things. Like, who am I to judge you if it's your first time trying to prompt with ChatGPT and you don't understand the terminology, or like how to use for image references, or even something basic like make it God tier, which is a joke between me and Absinthe. Ha.
I like that. It seems like, well, actually, before I go into that, you seem like a very modest person, which, great and all that. And I've seen what you do and all that. And I feel like everyone else has seen what you do. Every once in a while, do you ever strut your own stuff? Puff your chest out and be like, I'm this guy. You know what I mean? Or is that just completely not a you thing?
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I do have arrogance, I do have pride in the stuff that I create. That having been said, I also stand on the shoulders of my community, and I've always told them almost at every moment, I would not be where I'm at without you guys, and I'm extremely grateful every day that I draw a breath that you guys are, not to sound cheesy, but that you guys are in my life. Because at the end of the day, the community that I try to perpetuate and try to put out there is very much kind of what keeps me fueled, kind of what keeps me motivated. Whereas, not to talk trash against other communities or anything, but I'll talk to somebody that I've worked with in the past. Actually, no, I shouldn't name them by name, but I'll say somebody else who's adjacent, like Shy Lily, for example. Shy Lily has a very big community, and for example, her Discord is entirely focused around Shy Lily. And if she's not around or present or awake or whatever, the community kind of drops off. Not necessarily that it dies, but it's kind of the engagement kind of starts slipping off. Whereas when we made Tartarus, I didn't want to make it oh, this is Mags' thing. No, this is the community thing. I might be the necessary evil that's keeping things together and bonking people when I have to, but this is very much your guys' thing. You guys make this happen. I'm just there to make sure everyone's playing nice, so to speak.
Fair enough. Look at this. Chad, you see this guy? You see how nice and humble and modest she is? It's crazy. It's almost sickening. I'm not going to lie to you. No, but
I get that a lot, ironically, because people are like, "Oh, you're supposed to be this evil Baphomet character and this and that and whatever. How can you be so nice?" And it's have you ever seen Hellboy? It's the same basic idea.
It's funny. I was about to bring that up. It's yeah, that's kind of what it seems like here, and I feel like everyone likes it. Well, I say I feel, but everyone in the chat has been doing nothing but singing your praises this entire time. So it is what it is.
Well, I mean, I thank you for that, chat. I see a lot of familiar faces now. I see Opal, I see Exa, I see Nadoka, which is somebody I work with on the Eva side of things. Dell, credits, of course. Cinerette. Yeah, a bunch of people. I keep naming people, but yeah. I see a lot of familiar faces.
Yeah, I was about to say, as soon as I started, as soon as the interview started, everyone just showed up. And I was like, yeah, they showed up for you. And it's that's really nice. That's really nice.
It's almost like I promoted it somehow.
I mean, yeah. I don't know. Actually, I didn't get it. I was. It's just very interesting, and it's very. I don't know how to phrase this because it's not like it's a bad thing. but it's the exact opposite. And I'm so used to just having bad stuff happen. When it doesn't, I'm just like, what's going on here? Why is everyone so nice? I don't know if that's just me being jaded, but I'm assuming
it could be.
I'm assuming. Have you ever had anything like that happen?
Oh yeah, like I'm not gonna lie, like entirely, like imposter syndrome is a very real thing, even in regards to somebody who's on my level, so to speak, and I don't even think I'm at a higher level than anybody else. But clearly, I have become I guess I'll say a beacon in chat. If that sounds too arrogant, you're free to bonk me down. But I have become a beacon in the community, where people have reached out to me specifically. I don't want to say for protection, but to basically say, I want to be part of your community, because if I'm in your community, I know there's no drama happening there. There's no like bullshit happening.
I mean, yeah, that is, yeah, I can see that. It was interesting because I had no idea that this place existed until you hit me up, and I was kind of surprised. And then when I did a little bit of research on you, I was just like, oh, okay, I've seen this guy before, and I saw, you know, the people that you were associated with, and I was like, I feel like maybe he didn't mean to hit me up, because that's, I don't know.
Oh no, I did. So
yeah. I think I was going to ask about that too.
So to speak with transparency, like once again, I am a manager in regards to the Nocturne side of stuff. So I'm always scouting people out, whether it's on X or on Twitter or YouTube or Twitch or any of the other platforms. I'm always scouting people out, watching their content, watching what they produce, and more importantly, their attitude. I think that's the most important. And if somebody is overly antagonistic or overly problematic, then I'll probably pass on them. But in regards to yourself, I mean, you had already been doing, I don't want to say prompts of the day, but something very similar to prompts of the day, where you had been putting something out almost every day, I think almost every day, from what I noticed.
Yeah, just about. Actually, I got shadow banned because I posted too much. Yeah, they thought it was a bot.
Yeah, that's something a lot of us have had to deal with on the X side of things. But anyways, I digress. But yeah, so you were somebody that people had pointed out to me. They're like, hey, you should see we get some of Jigs' prompts in here, because obviously before I share something in Tartarus, especially if the person is not a member of the community, I reach out to them and say, hey, this is who I am, this is who I represent. Are you okay with us using your prompt? And then, you know, you gave me the thumbs up right away. You're like, yeah, go for it, whatever you want to do. And then, of course, just as a common courtesy, I was like, hey, we also do this thing here in case you're interested. So, yeah. It is a courtesy, and I'm glad you took up on it, because, you know, that's all we do there. Hey, Psycho.
It's funny, I needed to talk to Psycho at one point as well.
Speak of the devil, here he is. Yeah, so
right?
Psycho's a good friend of mine over from the pod. So yeah, good guy.
Okay, yeah, Psycho, I got to get in contact with you. There's a couple other people I need to get in contact with as well at some point. But yeah, I'm just glad that people like what I did. I when I first started doing this, I saw, you know, other people doing it, and I was like, okay, cool. And let me throw in my creative, I guess, input or whatever, because I'm not necessarily the best writer, and I'm definitely not an artist. But what I can do is I have very vivid images in my head, and then I can type them out to the best of my ability, and then I have the AI clean it up a bit if something sounds a little redundant, or obviously if I spelled something wrong, or there's a better way to have this flow with this art style particularly, you know, I'll have it do that, and we go from there. So I wasn't really expecting anything out of this, but you know, when people were like, oh, you know, let me use your prompt and whatnot, I was like, oh, well, this is cool.
You've done some really impressive prompts. I mean, if I'm going to be completely honest, you've done some really impressive stuff that caught my eye right away. There's a few people in the community, aside from Eva, of course, that I keep an eye on. And your stuff always kept popping up. I was like, damn, who did this? Oh, that's Jigs again. Damn, that's really good. And, you know, and I would ask around the community, I'm like, hey, does anybody know Jigs? And they're like, oh, yeah, I know him. He's pretty cool. And I was like, is he part of any communities already? And they're like, no, he kind of keeps to himself. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, I wonder why that is. Maybe I should reach out. So I did.
Yeah, and thank you for whoever found me and brought you to your attention. I do kind of normally stick to myself just because I feel like it's easier, and I don't mind being a part of the group. But you know, as you know, with internet stuff and a lot of the anonymity, and when people feel some type of way, they do some type of stuff, and I just didn't really want to deal with that. But then, you know, when you came to me with your pitch, I was like, well, it seems like a good pitch. I have nothing against it, so then I know nothing about him, so I can't be like, well, I don't believe you, son.
I don't believe you.
Yeah, right. So I was like, let me at least take a look. And even though that I am in the group, every once in a while I'll drop something that I was working on or whatever, and then I'll just kind of leave. And I don't know. I guess it really is that you mentioned it earlier, and a couple other people have said it, that the imposter syndrome. I'm like, the thing is, I'm not big. I don't like. I would like to get big, obviously doing the whole streaming, gaming, all that good stuff. But I always feel weird when I'm in some place with other people and they're all doing good stuff, and I just kind of feel like I'm a burden. I shouldn't be there. You know what I mean? It just feels odd, and I don't know how to get over that.
Mm-hmm. I will just say what I learned a long time ago, especially from working back end with Twitch, is that fame and notoriety will eventually fade as things fade from relevancy. So if you're doing things just to chase that kind of like dragon, so to speak, you will eventually fail. However, if you do things for the sake of authenticity, it will take longer to grow, but you will have a community that will stay with you 100% regardless of what you decide to do, because they aren't even coming for what you're doing. They're not coming to watch you play games. They're not coming to watch your reactions. They're coming because they like you as a person. That authenticity is what's sorely missing in today's streaming sphere, especially in regards to people who just regurgitate the same things, like, oh my god, look what Hassan said, da 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 da, and you have like 30 fucking people doing reactions to it, and it's like, yeah, that'll get you views, but what happens when that falls off of relevancy?
Yeah, it was interesting because that's what I was doing originally, like a year and some change ago. I was doing reactions, and then it got to the point where I just kind of like don't care at all. Literally could not muster a single care at all for any of that. So I kind of like stopped doing that. I mean, every once in a while I'll do it for fun, tongue in cheek, great. But there's other content that I want to do. It's going to take longer to get out, which is, fine, but what are you going to do? But then in the meantime, so someone has at least something to watch. I was going to do this and talk to a bunch of different people and see their different perspectives on things, which I think is great. And you said you're on YouTube, correct?
Yeah, I'm on Mags Noctis on YouTube, Mags Noctis on Twitch. I also have a Kick and Rumble, same name. X is probably one of the most active right now. I will say, to speak devil's advocate, I am not a streamer myself. I do stream when I have a free moment to do so, because sometimes it'll be like, well, shit, if I'm going to spend 2 or 3 hours playing a game, might as well go live because I practice what I preach.
Yeah, true.
But my goal itself is not to be a streamer. My goal is to help other people reach what they want to reach, especially in regards to the AI stuff, helping people achieve what they want to achieve. And that's my goal, that's my objective, and I think I've accomplished it, and right now it's just a matter of maintaining it. And I'll just say before I get out of here completely, I have a great staff that works behind the scenes with me. Bowman and QB and Ember and Minoga and I'm forgetting somebody probably. Let me bring up the chat. And Exa and Eva and Rain, my boy Rain, which isn't in the chat. Absinthe, of course. If I'm forgetting anybody, I apologize. But yeah, we have a big team, and the reason why we have a big team is because our server is always going off 24/7.
Oh yeah,
I can literally. Yeah. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's like you were saying your server goes off 24/7. When I joined, I had forgotten to adjust the notifications because I know there's a lot of people here, and literally like every couple seconds, because I have a flash that for my notification.
Oh, and enter 2 credits, the man, the myth, the legend. Yes, like, oh my god, thank you. He is actually somebody who was a big motivator for me to get off my butt and get Tartarus going. Regardless of whether he wants to admit it or not. But anyways.
Hey, big ups to that man. Big ups to that man.
Yeah, he is somebody who I would say is very underappreciated in the community, and everyone should go and subscribe to him right now. Enter 2 credits at YouTube. The amount of work and heart he puts into his stuff, and for people to have basically said that he wasn't a part of their communities was very, I'll just be blunt, very fucking disgusting to me, especially when I saw the stuff that he was doing behind the scenes. I was like, we got a place for you, man. You belong here.
Oh, there you go. I was about to say a little bit of lore about that guy. I mean, I might take a look myself. I wonder if he will do an interview. I love talking to people about a bunch of different stuff, but who knows? We'll figure it out from there. Mm-hmm. But was there anything else you want? Well, But no, we kind of already went over that. But yeah, was anything else you wanted to say? Anything else you wanted? Any teasers you wanted to drop? Anything you wanted to plug real quick? Anything that we should be on the lookout for from you?
Well, I will say that Charteris Media Network, we're always working on something. We always have projects coming out. I would say just keep your eye out in regards to that. We usually drop it. The official Club Tartarus Twitter, which is at club_Tartarus. You can basically keep track of all the shenanigans we get up to and all the kind of like little RP style gen prompt contest things we have going on. But also anytime we drop a new song or album release or something, like a bigger project like lore videos, we're currently working with a number of streamers right now to get actual like anime style lore videos done for them, which of course do take a bit longer because 5 minutes of consistent animation with AI, especially something like C-Dance or Vtuber, is a lot different than like, hey, here's 15 seconds of this, 15 seconds of that, I'm going to put it together in a music video. Like, it doesn't have to be super consistent.
Yeah.
But yeah. And then of course the voice actors and so forth is another thing as well. But anyways, I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, you're good. This is about you. This is why when I'm not talking, I literally mute my mic, because if not, I'll either be like laughing or you might hear me cough or something, and that just gets annoying. But also, when you hopped into my Discord and you dropped that song, I took a look at that immediately, and I was like, oh, this is some good stuff you got here. Now, I don't know how musically inclined you are, but whenever you do stuff like that, if you can, let me get the tabs for that, because I would definitely want to play something like that on bass. That'd be so much fun. I would definitely do that for a stream too. I think it'd be sick.
Yeah, I mean, we could definitely talk about that in the future. I know it was a that song specifically. I had written it. I had gotten some input from Enter Two Credits as well. He had some things to say, which I was glad to incorporate. And then once we started putting things together, it's basically a very like pro AI song. People have interpreted it different ways, which is wrong, but it is what it is. And I had, when we had worked on Regicide and Revolution specifically, it happened to coincide with some big fallout in some AI community, which I was like, dude, we started working on this a month ago. I don't even care what's going on in your little circle of friends. That has nothing to do with me. But anyways, besides the point, it was a situation where we started doing things and it just caught fire, and the fire has never been put out. And if anything, to kind of use a term that they use over at the pod, we've been keeping that campfire going ever since.
Oof, good lord. Oh, everyone seems to have a bunch of that type of stuff going on, but I'm glad you just don't let it get to you, and you're trucking on through regardless. There's a lot of stuff that just wouldn't be out if everyone got down at the sudden sight of terribles, or just people not doing what they should be doing, or whatever happened in whatever. I'm not going to ask about that, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, all I'll say, like, in regards to stuff like that is, this can sound really, really cold, and I don't know how to say it, but there's a lot of people who aren't adults, and by adults, I'm not talking about age-wise, I'm talking about mentality-wise, in online communities, and I think they get into positions of authority or positions of power, and people don't want to speak up against them. They just want to placate the baby, give the baby their bottle, and that becomes detrimental to the growth of an entire community, or at least in regards to what I was witnessing. And that was another reason why we did break off and make Charteris, because it's kind of like the stuff we want to do, we're being, if I'm going to be completely blunt, we're being cucked by these other people that are saying you're not allowed to do that because the emperor didn't give his seal of approval, which was just ridiculous, because it's like, you don't control what I do, you don't control what my people do. We're gonna do our own things, and it is what it is.
I feel that the fact that some people just assume that because they're in a position of power, they can do whatever, whenever, to whomever, is insane to me. Like, I don't know. I don't have that mentality. I don't associate with anyone that does, because it just doesn't make any sense, because that brings everyone else down. So let's not bring everyone else down here. Okay, we're all trying to have fun. We're all trying to do our own thing.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely.
Good lord. But I see why more people like it. I'm glad I got a chance to start to pick at your brain. You obviously read significantly more than I do, so there's a couple more philosophical things that I would like to get into. But obviously we don't have too much time for that, and I don't want to bore a chat because philosophy isn't everyone's cup of tea, as
I freaking love philosophy.
Yeah, like I had a feeling you did, and that's another reason I wanted to talk to you about it. But it obviously would have to be sometime off stream. I also got to talk to you about that agency you're a part of. I'm not putting the cart before the horse. I get very excited when people have things that they're doing. They seem very passionate about it, and they also have a group of people behind them that are also very passionate about it. And then also having your head on straight and seeming like a outstanding guy is just not a problem. It just all of that just doesn't come together. So I would like to, even if I'm not in the position I would like to be, as long as I could be associated and help out in some way, I feel like that would be great. And I feel like everyone in chat would like to see this grow as much as possibly could. And who knows, maybe your group does something with another group, and then obviously they're not going to be combined, but it's just picture if there was a nice song or a nice video that part of X Street did and then part of Tartarus did, and a lot of those creators came together. I think that would be really nice. I don't know, I'm just kind of gushing. It's really nice. I just have a lot of ideas, but
I think the X Street, I believe that's Jess's little group, which I'm good friends with Jess. So
I thought that'd be it's an idea. Obviously, we'll get into the details about that if you wish later. But other than that, I don't want to take up too much more of your time. I'm going to keep rambling.
No, yeah, of course.
Yeah, but you have it was a great chat. Obviously, I'm going to have to do a follow up at some point because obviously you have a lot cooking and want to see what goes, and from there.
Yeah, of course. Like I said, anytime you want me to come on and talk about whatever, you're definitely free to reach out to me if you want help networking with more people in the community. Get on the show. I'm happy to point you in the right directions or the wrong directions, depending on who you talk to. But I can definitely help you get that lined up.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we can do that. I like how also a lot of your chat and a lot of my chat intermingling and talking to each other. That's really cool. And so again, a lot of overlap. There's just so much. There's so much, and I'm a big picture kind of guy, so I need to kind of break everything down, go through the nitty gritty, and so we'll figure it out. I'm rambling, but you have a good one. You have a good one, sir.
Yep. Thanks for having me on.
Not a problem.
Have a good day.
What a great guy. What a great guy. Now, if you didn't notice, I had been streaming before. And now we did that, and so there's a couple other things that I need to get into. Want to use your characters and prompts of the day? Oh yeah, of course. Literally use if my reference sheet is out there and you want to use it, go on ahead and use it. I don't actually care. Just have fun with it. So there's probably only one thing. If you are going to do something romantic, make sure that these two characters are together, because that's how they are canonically, and that's how I wish to keep it. So that's what we're gonna do. And no, JC, we'll do the plank thing later. Don't worry about it. And I will speak. Oh, thank you. I will speak to all of you